Welcome to the Connecticut Winter 2024 Legacy Leagues All-Star Draft. I'm your host, Connor Sauer, joined here by my co-host, Greg Horne. Greg, the weekly rebound duo is back at it again. How we doing today, brother?
I'm doing good. Got my philanthropic background behind me. It's feeling great. Former Legacy Leagues champs, still winter champs. My boys did it. And I'm feeling good. I'm excited for the Legacy Leagues All-Star weekend. It's always good family vibes and cannot wait to get started.
Yeah, I can't wait either, man. So let's get into this draft, kind of explain to our viewers, which, by the way, if you're watching live on YouTube, welcome, and we appreciate the support. So there will be one player selected from each of the 8 teams. And then we have 6 wild card spots as well, which rounds out to 14 players in the pool that me and Greg will be selecting from. The 6 wild card spots allow players from the same team to participate in the All-Star game. And Greg and I can only pick players from this pool. So as much as Greg would love to draft Chris Rosinski with his first overall pick, we are restricted to picking the 14 players that were voted by the analysts as well as Greg and I into the All-Star pool. So Greg, why don't you kick it off with the first pick since Greg beat me in the previous All-Star game that we had several years ago. He gets the first round pick, but don't worry, I am coming for revenge. And no matter who he picks, he can be damn sure that I'm picking a roster that is designed to take him down. So, Greg, why don't you start us off?
All right, all right. You know, now that that's war. All right, we're gonna start this off with a bang. Then I'm gonna go with the GOAT, Mike Davis. We're gonna get Mike Davis right in there. Let's get Mike Davis in there. Let's get him locked in on Team Horn. Look, nice blue font. Look at that, beautiful blue for winning. Also, I love the patriotic colors, Joey, the blue and the red. I'm gonna go with Mike Davis. I mean, what else can you say about him? I'm gonna talk about something that doesn't get talked about: his MVPs, his accolades, how great of a scorer he does, but how great of a defender he is. And he's someone who can really play some good defense. He plays some great on-ball defense. He's great at just he's such a pest out there. And usually when you think of pest, you don't think of someone who's a bona fide stud in the league, but that's what Mike Davis does. He's going to be hitting big shots for us. He's going to be getting some steals. He's going to be harassing some of the guys on your team. And in the end, I know that I can trust Mike, and he's the GOAT for a reason.
He's the GOAT for a reason, man. A guy who shot 91 threes this year. You shoot that many threes in legacy leagues, you can only assume that your shooting percentage isn't going to be very good unless your name's Mike Davis. I mean, Mike still goes over 40% from the 3-point line, despite just hoisting up three after three after three. And these aren't easy threes that Mike shoots. If you guys watch these games, I mean, he does crazy shots. He does step backs. He does step to the side. I mean, he does everything. Just off balance, and then when he spots up, you already know he's automatic. So great pick, Mike Davis, the Legacy League's GOAT. Yeah, you can't really go wrong with it. Unfortunately, I knew he was probably going to be the first guy off the board, so I didn't really prepare to have Mike Davis. It would have been nice if he fell to me with the second pick, but with my first pick, you still leave me an absolute monster, Greg. And this guy has given me nightmares for years going back to our last All-Star game. I had a nice lead, a comfortable lead, and I was feeling pretty good about my squad in that last time we faced off against one another. And I said, you know what? I'm going to start talking a little bit of shit. Reggie Stewart comes down, gets the ball in his hands, and I said something to the extent like he can't shoot. Obviously, I knew he could shoot, but I was just trying to bust his balls a little bit, maybe get in his head, and he pulled up, he splashed it. He got the ball back, he came back down, he pulled up, and he splashed it. And he did that about 3 or 4 times in a row. And every time he looked over at me and gave me a nice little grin, letting me know, bro, I'm him. And I knew he was him. And I'm not letting him do that to me again. So Reggie Stewart's going to be my first pick. And yeah, I'm going to make sure that I got that monster on my team, Greg. Reggie Stewart, what a year for Redeem Team. 20 points per game with 8 rebounds per game. One of the smallest guards in the league, known for his agility, his quickness. But it just goes overlooked about how just athletic he is with his bounce to get up there and get rebounds like that. And then obviously a great passer, a great setup guy, does everything. Right up there with Mike Davis in terms of one of the all-time greatest players to ever play in this league. And I'm really happy to have him on my squad.
Yeah, no, if there was a 1A and 1B, it'd be Mike Davis and Reggie Stewart for Legacy Leagues. I mean, what can you say about them? It's kind of poetry that the first 2 picks of this draft because they're such great players. What they do, they're special, those two. And shout out Reggie, he's a phenomenal player. He'll hit the big shot when you need. He's one of the most clutch players we've ever seen in this league, and that's Reggie time. So I'll be worried about that. But my next pick, I'm going to stay with Redeem Team. and I'm going to go with Eric Singleton. A lot of the similarities can be said about Mike Davis to Eric Singleton. He plays some great defense. He's actually a phenomenal shot blocker, something that he is just time and time again shown in this league. And he's also banging threes this year. He's shooting lights out from beyond the arc, about 40%. And when Eric's doing that, especially with his ability to attack the rim, he's playing at an MVP level. So I'm going Eric Singleton.
Yeah, I don't really like how you did that. You're kind of setting out some friendly fire here, Reggie versus Eric. And you know what, Greg? Two can play that game, brother.
All right.
Give me Devon Pratt, man. Give me, one of the most entertaining guys to watch in this league. I mean, one of the most is probably not even an accurate statement. Probably the most is probably more accurate, I would say. Just a guy who does everything out there physically, right? He goes up there and puts 20 points per game this season. He was in the 50-50 club, so he shot 50% from three and 54% from the field. And that's a high volume shooter, putting up high percentages like that. You don't typically see that in this league too often, but you saw it with Pratt. And we can talk about what he does on the floor, Greg, all day long, but it's really the leadership that he provides. It's tough to be on Pratt's team and not be locked in and engaged and ready to go come tip off, because that's the type of dude he is. He gets everyone ready to play. And come game time, you can bet that he's going to be chirping the other teams and be rallying his troops. He's going to be doing everything he can to get into the psyche of his opponent, and I love that so much. I cannot wait to watch him and Mike Davis go head to head, because they are too funny together, man. They've been playing together for so long, so it's going to be great to see them on opposite sides for a nice little all-star game. So give me Pratt, man. MVP candidate this year. Really can't say enough about him, and I'm really pumped to have him on my squad.
It's a good pick. Pratt's both of our picks for MVP. We just want to shout out the weekly rebound because we make the right awards. Weekly rebound awards always been goated. Sorry, Joey, love you. Um, I'm gonna go. Well, first, let me just say, Pratt. Yeah, that's Yaga. When you think of Yaga, you think Pratt.
Yeah.
He's a sniper, he's a shooter, he's a leader, and he brings the best vibes in the league. And it's not even a debate. What he does for that team surpasses all skill on the court. He is the heart and soul of Yaga. With that being said, I'm going Taisheen McCray. And I'm going Taisheen McCray because I think his game is built for this game. I think that he's going to be ready to just dominate this all-star game. He's going to come in as a rookie and just let everyone know that I'm here, I'm ready. And I think he's going to have a blast playing with some talented guys like Mike Davis and Eric Singleton and maybe a few other guys. We'll see who I end up getting. But I'm going Taisheen. He's a phenomenal player. He's a high flyer. He can bang threes, play defense, attack the rim. He does it all. If he was playing baseball, he'd be a five-tool player. So I'm going Taisheen McCray.
Yeah, I mean, what a season for Taisheen, averaging 20 points per game, 53% shooting, and a great rebounder at 5 per game, and one of the best defenders as well, Greg. He gets a lot of steals, a lot of blocks, and we've talked about it in some of the past post game shows. His instincts on defense are even more impressive than like the physical things he does on the defensive side. Obviously you always give people respect for, being great shot blockers due to their ability to, jump high and all that, but are having great steals, with fast hands. But his instincts, just knowing where to be on the floor, the way to pressure certain ball handlers. He's great at pulling the chair out on big men below the basket. He just does all the smart things on defense that would kind of go overlooked in a league like this. It's a
Mm-hmm.
high-flying, high-scoring
Yeah.
league. But yeah, Taisheen McCray, congratulations on the All-Star game. And unfortunately, I couldn't have you on my squad, but that was a great pick by Greg. With my next pick, Greg, man, I'm drafting my boy Miles Raymond from Redeem Team, dude. Me and him, went to the same high school, so
Mm-hmm.
I got some camaraderie with him there, and I'm excited to have him on my squad. What a season for him, Greg! 50% shooting from the field, 50% from the 3-point line. He's in that 50-50 club with Pratt, so I got the 50-50 club boys on my roster, and I'm pumped about that. And 19 points per game. But let's be real, when it comes to Miles Raymond, it's going to be hard to talk about his name without mentioning that 50-plus scoring bomb he put up a few weeks ago. I mean, that was just a vintage game when it comes to, what we've seen from Miles Raymond in the legacy leagues. This is a guy who's just about his business, man. He goes out there and he'll dunk on you. He'll pull up a three on your face in transition, and he'll go back on defense and steal it and go back down and score again. So I just love his play style: fast, hard-nosed, good hustler. And I'm excited to pair up Miles with Reggie Stewart and Pratt. So that'll be my third round selection.
That's a good pick. Wow. Yeah, Miles is someone who just, really has come a long way in this league. He's just balling. I remember his first year he played on that random team. It was like a gold. Was it Young Kings? I want to say it was Young Kings he played on.
So,
Or some random team,
yeah.
but he is just a beast. He's a high flyer. He really is shooting well from the 3-point line. He's a special player, and that's a great pick. Yeah, wow. You got me twisted. Can't pick Rosinski. Now I can't pick Miles. Okay, I'm gonna go with the big guy here, and I'm gonna go Dave Armstrong. And I'm going with Dave because he does so much for this Yaga team. I mean, he's 93% from the field this year, and he's taken over 40 shots. He's not just dinking and dunking, he's really playing the big man role. He's one of the best defenders in the interior we have in this league. And Dave Armstrong is going to bring me size. He's going to bring me intensity. And he is one of, if not the best put back dunkers we've seen in this league. He just finds himself in the right spot always. So I'm really excited to add Dave Armstrong to this team and get that Yaga connection.
Yeah, I love that pick, man. Dave Armstrong. I mean, I'm looking at his stats this year, Greg.
Yeah.
This guy looks like a creative player on 2K on rookie difficulty. I mean, this is absurd. 93% shooting from the field. Are you kidding me? Is that real? Is that a glitch or a typo on the website? Because that just is hard to believe. But at the same time, with Dave Armstrong, very easy to believe. That's just the type of player he is.
Yeah.
Um, he's kind of like the DeAndre Jordan when he was in his prime on the Clippers, like, just your shot blocking, lob catching big man that does everything you need to do below the basket. And I know that I don't know how many All-Star appearances he's had in the past, Greg. We probably should have looked that up before this, but um, he's been an All-Star every single season in my mind, whether he's made the team or not. It's his play style, man, and playing along Pratt and Mike and all these great players that Chris always puts around that team. It's easy for you to kind of lose sight of how good Dave is and how just reliable he is. And on top of that insane 15 points per game on 93% shooting, Greg, he's probably the best defensive big man this league has seen in a
Yeah.
long, long time. Um, so you just talk about a guy who just does everything. So congratulations to Dave Armstrong. Really happy that he's on this All-Star draft because he deserves it, man. He's deserved it in plenty of years in the past, and he deserves it this year just as much. So congrats to Dave. And with my next pick, I'm picking a kid who is new to the league, but you wouldn't be able to tell by how successful he found, scoring in this league. He was phenomenal. Jacob Morales from Would Have Been, welcome to the team. Congratulations on your All-Star appearance. 20 points per game on 52% shooting, 7 rebounds per game, and a guy that his teammates just relied on in ways that you don't typically see in this league. And he lived up to it, man. He was phenomenal in their previous playoff matchup, despite coming up short and despite just, barely missing those free throws that could have given his team a win. I expect something like that to fuel this kid, man. He's a hard-nosed player who just plays the game the right way. And yeah, I love his aggressiveness, man. Despite not being one of the bigger players in the league, you would think he's not going to be too aggressive going to the basket. He probably shoots a lot, but you would be surprised. Watching Jacob Morales go to the basket is one of the most beautiful things I've seen on the Legacy League's courts this season. He's got so much finesse, man. He's got the jelly, he's got the dunks, and he's got a great pull-up jumper as well. So I'm excited to have him on my squad. I think he's going to be fueled and ready to roll, and I'm really happy to pair him with some of these elite guards that I have on my roster.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. Jacob Morales, he's really is such a great player, and he's one of those guys. I think before the year we said, he was like the top play for like 4 weeks, and we were like, is he gonna really take over and just show another level of just he can dunk, but what else can he do? And then he started hitting game winners, and he was always the consistent force for this would have been team. So it's just amazing to see him just get his flowers and just he's a steal in this fourth round. So shout out Jacob Morales. But for my next pick, I got to keep the big guys going with Eli Henry. Got to play a little defense here. Keep the big guys away from Connor. And got to go Eli Henry here. He's a high flyer. I think he's going to have a lot of fun playing with the guys I'm putting around him. And he is someone who's efficient from the field, shooting 70%. And, Eli, he's versatile. He's a great rebounder. And I think he's going to have a lot of fun on Team War.
And it's a really stingy pick by Greg. I mean, this is supposed to be a fun all-star draft, lighthearted, and here comes Greg just snatching all the big men off the board to give his team a size advantage. I mean, you really can't make it up, Greg. That is pretty fucking dirty. But with that being said, I'm gonna have to pick the next biggest guy available. That's Jason Velez on would have been. Despite being, a 3-point sniper, I'm not gonna expect him to get offensive rebounds. I want him out there on that 3-point line, jacking up those threes. But on defense, Jason, I need you. I need you. You're one of my bigger bodies. I need those defensive rebounds. It's going to be tough down there with amongst the trees of Dave Armstrong and Eli Henry, but I expect Jason to kind of pull his own weight down there. He's got plenty enough size. He's gonna be great at boxing guys out and then hitting those threes, trailing in transition. So Jason Velez from would be my pick. Greg, he had a good season this year, man. Playing alongside Jacob, he was that secondary option that really provided them with a lot of scoring off the bench, and he was just he shot 20. He made 26 3 points, and he shot them at a 43% clip this year. So one of the best snipers in the league. I'm excited to put him there with some of these other guards I have, and hope that he can get down and play some stingy defense on Dave Armstrong and Eli because it's going to be tough. But I'm expecting only good things from Jason Velez.
Yeah, no. Jason had an amazing year. Just wanted to give Jason some flowers and a shout out. He had a great year. He was consistent for that team when they needed a second guy other than Jacob to really step up. And I love how you have the would have been connection just going there. It's really smart. It's a great pick, and he had such a good year. So shout out him. But you got to keep, speaking of the would have been connection, I'm gonna do the get money connection with the brother connection over here, and I'm gonna do Tyron McRae. I mean, what can you say about him? He's a great rebounder for his size, and he's really such a great player. And watching him play is so fun. He's clutch. He really keeps his calm. He's really collected, and he's gonna have so much fun out here with these guys that I'm putting around him. I think that's kind of a theme I'm going with, and especially for guys on your team too. There's some guys in this league that maybe sometimes you're having trouble playing around a few of your teammates, or you're asked to do a lot, and not in this game. It's going to be fun and free flowing, and I think Tyron McRae could have a good one, banging some threes. So I'm gonna go. I got Tyron McRae. Get money connection.
Getting Tyron this late in the draft is a testament to just how deep we are at guards in this league. I mean, it's
Yeah,
absurd. He could have easily been a top 4 pick, and you get him this late in the draft. It's pretty crazy pairing him up with his brother. I was kind of looking forward to trying to add him into this draft and pair him against his brother because I would have loved to see that head-to-head matchup. But nonetheless, that's a very good pick, right? It's a steal this late in the draft. What a year he's had for Get Money. And that sets me up for my next pick, who I'm going to go with John Zervos from Sportslook. So congratulations to John making the All-Star game this year. Not the season Sportslook had probably envisioned coming into the year. One of the veteran teams, and I remember in an earlier post-game show way back at the start of the year, I said, Sportslook, for people new to the league, you might think, oh yeah, these guys, nothing to really have to worry about too much. And I kind of said, don't sleep on Sportslook. They got players on their team. They're a team that might have a couple bumps in the road during the regular season or whatnot, but come playoff time, Sportslook was a team that I thought could have kind of ruffled some people's feathers, as a lower seed, kind of upset alert, but still didn't really pan out the way we envisioned it. But nonetheless, it wasn't John Zervos' fault. He had a great year for Sportslook. He averaged 15 points per game, and he did it at 61%. And that's a guy who does a lot of the scoring for his team. He's one of their better players, and he's very efficient. He's very effective. And I've always loved the way he plays, Greg. He lets the game come to him in a very natural flow. He doesn't try to do too much, and he's quiet, keeps his head down, doesn't complain, doesn't argue with the refs, doesn't argue with his teammates. He just plays the game the right way, and I'm excited to have him on my All-Star team. I think he's got the right kind of energy to be a very good role player, surrounded by all these stars that I put around him.
yeah, no, another player who he had a hard year. It's very hard fought, and I think he's gonna have a blast playing around guys like Reggie, Pratt, Miles. I mean, it's gonna be a lot of fun for John Servos, and he's a great player. He's always been so fun to watch. His game is so unique and creative, and I love Zervos. Good pick, but with my last pick, I'm going with Rico the Killer Santiago. He's got it in him. He can go to that rim and he can attack that basket and he'll bang it, baby. And that's what Rico can do. He's efficient. He plays hard. He brings great vibes always on the court, and he goes kind of with the theme of, he had a really rough year, but not on this night. He's going to be playing with some of the best talent the league has to offer, and I just hope he has a good time and has fun with it. And I got Rico to fill out my team.
Yeah, I really like the Rico edition. And what an underdog story Rico Santiago is making the All-Star team this year. Congratulations, Rico. Because
Yeah,
when I was watched basketballers in their first game of the year, I saw my boy Chad McCoy walk through those doors. I saw Jaden Battle walk through those doors, and you could only anticipate that if not both, at least one of those guys would be the representative from the basketballers. And things change. Rosters change and whatnot, and Rico Santiago is the guy who showed up every single week for the basketballers, ready to play, whether it be 2 games, 1 game, he was there, ready to go, high energy, good
yeah,
vibes, never,
yep,
just never a doubt that that kid was going to show up and do whatever he could within his power to allow the basketballers to compete in these games. So, I'm really happy to see a guy like that make the All-Star team, 13 points per game, and one of the best free throw shooters in the league, Greg, 88% from the free
yeah,
throw line. And
killer.
free throws absolutely matter, as we saw this past week. So um, really nice selection there to round out your team, Greg. And that leaves me with Robert Sumter from Crown Squad. And despite being the last pick in the draft, I mean, if it goes for all these guys, if you're in the bottom half of the draft, please don't be disrespected or feel like, oh, I was the last pick. But man, we're talking about the cream of the crop. All these guys are phenomenal basketball players in their own rights. And I'm happy to have Robert Sumter from the Crown Squad on my team, man. 14 points per game, 6 rebounds per game, 53% shooting. So just an efficient player, effective, good at finding a shot. Not the season that I'm sure Crown Squad would have wanted this year, but they did have a bright spot with Rob. So and I'm really excited. He's at the bottom of my draft here. I got good high effort guys with Rob, John, Jason, and I got some really flashy offensive scorers with Jacob, Miles, Pratt, and Reggie. Really liking the way my team's shaped up, Greg, and would love to hear the thoughts on how you think your team's gonna do against mine.
I think they're looking good. We got Mike and Eric. I think their games are going to complement each other well. I expect Ty Sheen, Eli, Tyron, and Rico. They're playing in their first All Star game. And I hope they just go have fun with it, play free, just have fun. Oops, just that's the key to this. It's just going to be Legacy League family, just all smiles and laughter. And it sounds like a kid show, but it's not. We're getting this dub. But seriously though, just I love my team. Mike's shooting. I think there's good defense. I think they're going to be really high flying, and I expect this to come down to the wire and be a really good game. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I can't wait, and it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, it looks like a classic size versus speed matchup on
Yeah.
paper here, as Greg slots in the last 2 slots. Shout out Chris Rosinski and Joey Zacco, the honorable mentions. Um, but yeah, I think it's going to be, kind of a clash between two different styles, and I'm really excited for it. And yeah, I'm excited for the 3-point contest. I'm excited for the
Yep.
dunk
Can't
contest.
wait.
And along with those, there's plenty of other accolades to be given out. Obviously, the league MVP, the first team, the first all defensive team, most improved, amongst many other awards. So definitely keep your guys' eyes out on social media and the Legacy League's pages for that, as
Yep.
will be announced in the near future. And we're very excited to do the All Star game. We haven't done it in several years, and Greg and I.
Yeah.
Greg, we've always done the weekly rebound podcast together, and it's good to do this together as a team, and go head to head with one another. And I'm really
As
excited.
always.
But any final words, Greg, for the people at home watching?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, tomorrow night, big games tomorrow night. Obviously, we're doing this Wednesday, so can't wait for those playoff matchups. Hopefully Rosinski doesn't choke, and got our boys Eddie going against Get Money. That'll be a good one. Got my guys the biggest skis, and it's gonna be a good playoff night of Legacy League basketball. I can't wait. And shout out the Legacy League family. It's been a great year, and can't wait for All Star Night.
Yep. So that's going to wrap it up. Thank you to everybody who's tuning in to the Connecticut Winter 2024 Legacy League's All Star Draft. Congratulations to all the players who made the team. And definitely be sure to stop by InSports in a few weeks to watch it, unless you're playing in it. And if you are, please show up because in seasons past, I think Greg only got the upper hand on me that one time because a couple of my
Yeah,
guys couldn't make it. So
true. He's not
yeah,
wrong, but we eat that dub, like Jameis says.
you definitely got the dub, and I'm coming back for it this year. So we'll see you guys then. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great night. We'll see you soon.